Money Moicano, we talked about it, man. This dude is hot on the mic, and when it comes down to MMA, he is a mixed martial artist through and through. That's how he won the fight. Drew Dober had him hurt early, man. We know when you have a guy in front of you, Uber Chad, bombs in the hands, ready to destruct at any moment, that you have to mix up your game. You have to do something different. And Moicano went straight to the well with his grappling, with his jiu-jitsu. And the thing that I had a little bit of a bone to pick about here, AJ, is the referee, man, was a little quick, hey, move positions. I think this was Herb Deem or Mark Smith. I don't recall off the top of my head, but the point is he would get to like a half guard position, controlling steadily, a couple rabbit punches, and they're already like, all right, you got to work. And I'm like, yo, you want him to stand up so he can get knocked out. That's what you're trying to do. I was having a conversation with my buddies last night, and my question to you here, AJ, is do you think that even in the sanctioned sport of mixed martial arts in the UFC, there is an onus to say, hey, this is a sport and it's all fair, but this is also entertainment. So you need to stand up because we don't want to see a fantastic matchup like this buried by just boring, clinching, half guard, just kind of stalling in the grappling. Do you think that that's going into it at all?
Yes, Derek, absolutely. I think that the entertainment factor needs, and unfortunately that is the case. Like it needs to be there because if you don't, you want to put butts in seats, you want to get eyes on the TV. It has to be exciting. It has to go. So I can see where the movement comes into play. But what that really means is it comes down to the fighter that wants to control and dominate to actually get that going. You know, it is rough because I do agree with you. The ref was a little fast on making a move and making him switch positions and stuff, but to that same aspect, if Drew Dober or same thing on Moicano wants to keep the other fighter down, he needs to be doing damage and he needs to be progressing his position to keep that going. Because I'm all for excitement and you know the big flashy strikes and everything. Don't get me wrong, you know I love striking here, folks. But at the same point, if a guy is able to hold you down, that is your duty to not let that happen and to advance a position and really cause some damage. And at the end of the day, that's what we're looking for is damage, whether it is on the feet or on the ground. So I do think those both kind of come into play there.
See, one thing that I'm going to say that a lot of people I think don't understand if you have never grappled or anything like that is Drew Dober, oftentimes he held Moicano in this position that we call lockdown. So you're in a half guard position, they have your legs tangled up and they put their leg underneath your foot. So it's literally like you cannot get your leg out of it. So when you're yelling at the top guy to move, you have to advance, and you're like, I'm trying, but this dude's got my leg caught. There's nowhere I can go. What do you want me to do? It's almost the equivalent of when two fighters are clinched up on the cage. One person has both underhooks, and then they're just holding them to their chest, and they're like, you got to move. He's like, I'm trying, bro, but he's holding me. Like, what? I just think that part wasn't respected enough. But either way, this was a fantastic fight, man. This was bloody. This was back and forth. And folks, we can give you premonitions. We can give you the preview stuff, but there's a lot of stuff you have to capitalize live odds. At one point, right after Moicano got bloodied up, I looked at the live odds. He was a plus like 125 underdog. And I'm like, oh my God, live. Smash that all day. Y'all think Drew Dober is going to win. Drew Dober tries to do the lat drop. He does it unsuccessfully. Moicano gets on top and then he wins the fight very clearly. So I thought there was a lot of opportunity to make money in this fight. I thought Money Moicano did a hell of a shout out towards the end. He said he wants to fight for the SWAT team and kill all the bad guys. Like, shout out to you. But with that being said, aside from that, man, what's the prospects of Moicano moving forward? A quick sentence. Where do you think he goes next?
Ooh, I don't think he jumps up that much, Derek, unfortunately. I do think it was a great fight. There was a lot going there, but I think around the same area that Drew Dober's fighting in is where we're going to see Moicano fight another one.
Yeah, I think if he keeps talking big on the mic, though, he's going to set himself up for some real big opportunities right here. So I'm hoping we see something cool. I know he just did a major call out, and I feel so bad because I forgot who he called out. Do you remember?
No, I was trying to think of it too. I just remember him shouting that for like a madman.
This is
get
it.
Excited.
The Hangman, Dan Hooker. That's who he called out. He says, I want to fight the Hangman. That would be a hell of a fight. That'd be an interesting scrap. Two tall, lanky guys. All right, big win by Money Moicano in our co-main event.